You know that feeling when you're somewhere new or meeting people from different places, and suddenly the usual stuff feels, well, off.
Oh, absolutely. Like there are these invisible rules floating around.
Exactly. These unspoken codes, we learn the words, the grammar, but the really tricky bits are often these cultural things.
Right. Those shared understandings or sometimes misunderstandings that, make interactions smooth or awkward.
Totally. And that's what we're diving into today, specifically focusing on France, linguistic faux amis, words that look alike but mean different things.
Yeah, like library isn't a library.
Precisely. Well, France has cultural ones too, faux amis culturels,
Yeah.
customs, behaviors, everyday things that look familiar but have a whole different meaning there.
And these aren't just like minor quirks. Getting these wrong can lead to, well, genuine misunderstandings,
Yeah.
awkwardness.
Or even accidentally causing offense, which nobody wants.
Definitely not. So our goal today, our sort of mission, is to give you some practical tools, some insights.
Make navigating French culture feel a bit more, confident.
Exactly. We'll look at dining, greetings, gifts, even things like nonverbal cues, how time is perceived.
Personal space too, right?
Yep, personal space. And we'll try to put it in a global context, see how it stacks up against other cultures.
Sounds great. Okay, where should we start? Maybe something universal, like food, sharing a meal.
Perfect starting point. The dinner table is, well, it's a gold mine for cultural differences.
So first thing, finishing your plate.
Right. In France, generally speaking, clearing your plate, that's a good sign. It shows you really appreciated the food, the effort.
It's like saying thank you without words, almost. A nod to the cooking.
Exactly. It ties into that deep French value around, gastronomy, the effort involved. Finishing honors that.
But that's so different from some other places, isn't it? Like in many Asian cultures.
Completely different dynamic. They're often leaving a little bit behind is actually the polite thing to do.
It signals you're full, that the host was generous.
Precisely. Clearing your plate might even suggest you're still hungry, that maybe they didn't provide enough. A small action, huge difference in meaning.
Wild. Okay, what about other table manners? Like, sounds.
Hmm. Well, let's just say audible appreciation like burping.
Mm.
Not really the done thing in France. Considered impolite,
Okay, good to know. Pretty standard for many Western cultures, I guess.
probably. Though, again, it's fascinating that in some cultures, it's the exact opposite, a genuine sign of enjoyment.
See, faux everywhere. Okay, moving on. Bread. Can't talk French food without talking bread.
Le piano, yes. It's absolutely central. And there are some interesting little things like you won't always see people cutting it with a knife.
Oh, right, they just tear off pieces.
Often, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfectly normal. And it has another key job beyond just eating.
Ah, the saucer move, using bread to mop up the sauce.
Exactly. It's called saucer, S-A-U-C-E-R. And it's not just acceptable, it's often seen as a compliment. Shows you love the sauce so much you didn't want any to go to waste.
Love that. Waste not, want not, especially when it's delicious sauce. And wine, briefly.
Wine, yes, basic etiquette.
Yeah.
Usually the host pours. It's polite to accept at least a little if offered, but that's a whole topic in itself, really.
For sure. Okay, so table manners sorted, mostly. Let's shift to just saying hello, greetings, la bise.
Oh, yes, la bise,
Ah.
the cheek kiss. Quintessentially French and often a source of slight panic for visitors.
Yeah. Because the rules aren't clear cut, right? When, who, how many.
Exactly. It varies massively. Region, relationship, you might get one kiss, maybe two, three, even four in some places.
And which cheek first. That can change too.
It really can.
Yeah.
You often just have to observe and go with the flow, but it's common, especially socially. It reinforces that connection.
Very different from a standard handshake in, say, the UK or US, or a bow in Japan.
Very. And it's not just a physical greeting. The words matter a lot.
You mean like bonjour?
Bonjour and au revoir.
Yeah.
They're not optional extras. They're essential politeness markers. Entering a shop, leaving a cafe.
You say them. It's almost like an entry ticket to the interaction, isn't it? Skipping it is noticed.
Definitely noticed. Then there's the big one. Tu versus vous.
Ah, the formal versus informal you. Tricky for learners.
It really reflects the level of respect and familiarity.
Yeah.
Generally, vous is the default for strangers, elders, in professional settings.
Until you're invited to use two.
Exactly. Using tu too soon can feel overly familiar, maybe even disrespectful. It's about acknowledging social distance initially.
And using titles like Monsieur, Madame, Mademoiselle is a bit less common now, right?
Yes, mademoiselle is used less. Generally stick to madame unless you know otherwise. But using monsieur and madame is definitely part of showing that respect.
Okay, so greetings covered. What if you get invited over? Gifts.
Good question. If you're invited for dinner, yeah, bringing a small gift is a nice gesture.
Like what sort of thing?
Bottle of wine is usually safe, or maybe some nice chocolates, flowers.
But careful with the flowers.
Right, white chrysanthemums there for funerals. But a nice bouquet otherwise is great.
And when you give the gift, open it now or later.
In France, the custom is generally to open it right away when you receive it.
Interesting, because in some cultures, you'd wait until the guests leave.
Exactly. So good to be aware, open it, express thanks.
Okay. What about the stuff we say without words? Body language.
Super important and easy to misinterpret. Eye contact, for instance.
More or less in France.
Generally, maintaining good eye contact is expected. It shows you're engaged, you're listening, you're being honest.
Whereas in some cultures, too much direct eye contact can feel a bit intense or even rude.
It can, yes. Another big one is personal space. That invisible bubble.
The French bubble is smaller.
Tends to be, yeah. Compared to, say, North Americans or Brits, French people often stand a bit closer when talking.
So what feels normal to them might feel a little like an invasion of space to someone else.
Potentially, yes. It's just a different norm. And of course, gestures. Thumbs up, okay sign. These can mean wildly different things globally.
Always wise to be cautious with gestures in a new culture.
Very wise. Observe first.
Okay, let's talk about time. Punctuality, is being fashionably late a thing?
Well, it depends. For a dinner party at someone's home, arriving 5, 10, maybe even 15 minutes after the invited time is often perfectly okay.
Almost expected, even. Arriving dead on time might seem too eager.
Something like that. It's a more relaxed social timing. But, and this is crucial for professional meetings, appointments.
Be on time. Seriously on time.
Exactly. Punctuality is much stricter in those contexts. Don't mix them up.
Good distinction. And what about personal questions? Privacy.
That's another interesting area. You might find French people ask more direct questions, maybe earlier on than you're used to.
Like about your job or family or relationship status.
Yeah, things like that. It might feel a bit forward to someone from a more reserved culture, but it's often just, well, a way of showing interest.
Trying to connect rather than being nosy.
Generally, yes. It's about building rapport in a slightly different way.
So, bringing it together, how does this contrast with, say, Anglo-Saxon cultures?
Well, as we touched on, the to vous thing is a big difference. Using the informal you too soon can seem off. Tipping is usually less expected or lower in France.
Right. And compared to maybe Asian cultures.
The concept of face maintaining harmony, avoiding embarrassment, can lead to more indirect communication sometimes. And maybe less physical contact in initial greetings compared to la bise.
And Middle Eastern cultures.
Often have quite intricate, highly codified rules around politeness, hospitality, and showing respect, which are really vital to understand.
It really shows that politeness isn't one size fits all, does it?
Absolutely not. What's polite, what's normal, what's expected, it varies so much. From the dinner table to just saying hello. These hidden layers are everywhere.
So the key takeaway really is be aware, be observant.
Be observant, definitely. And don't be afraid to ask if you're unsure. People usually appreciate the effort.
And don't beat yourself up if you make a mistake. It's part of learning.
Exactly. It's not about memorizing rules perfectly. It's more about having that cultural sensitivity, that openness.
Being curious, showing respect.
That's the heart of it. So yeah, as you interact with French culture, keep that curiosity alive. Stay open to the differences.
They can be surprising, but also really enriching.
For sure. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? We've talked about France, but what other simple, everyday interactions around the world have these hidden cultural meanings just waiting to be discovered?
That's a great question to leave people with. So much more to explore out there.